Hello everyone. Welcome to Monday Management Talk Season 1 episode number 8. Thank you very much for coming back to see the next step in the project management. Project management becomes very interesting when your skin is in the game. It becomes intriguing when you get into the rhythm of it. I hope you have already pulled up your socks to get started with this episode. I wish you subscribe to this channel right away, right now, to stay more curious about it. Let's continue with the story of our friend John and the project being managed for Mr. Smith. With the learnings of past 2 episodes, at present, John has figured out about the scope, WBS and schedule of the project. Now, he is thinking about how to plan the budget. But let's also think who gives the budget for the project. In our story, it's Mr. Smith, right? Who is Mr. Smith? And what type of stakeholder he is? Well, I will cover all these questions in this episode, but before that, let's see a small recap of episode number 7. Hi folks, welcome back. Today in this episode, we are going to talk about the budget plan. The budget plan is nothing but planning the budget expenditure or consumptions throughout the project. The project manager prepares the budget plan and adjusts it as per the need. But before getting into the budget plan, let's first understand about the project life cycle and see how the project life cycle and the budget planning concepts can go hand in hand. Before beginning the project, the goal of the project is decided and various solutions are considered in order to build the project. After right solution is chosen, the project is signed and the project manager is assigned. From beginning till the end, generally, a project crosses 4 phases. These are initiation, planning, execution and closure. This is a proven path and it is referred as project life cycle. In initial phases, as a project manager, you receive information about the project. Information such as problem statement, objectives, major deliverables, high-level budget and group of people identified for working on the project. Project manager conducts the meetings to meet the stakeholders and brief about the project. In planning phase, project manager takes all the details and begin planning for scope, time and cost. The initial RAID log is prepared as the project planning is started and project manager adds the risks and issues which are already foreseen for the project during the solution scaping. Also, communication plan is created to start and maintain the rhythm of regular communication within the project team. In execution phase, the implementation starts. The activities are performed by the resources assigned. Team is fully involved in building and integrating different parts of the project. Project manager maintain and control all the aspects, make sure the activities are completed on time so as a steady progress in the project is achieved. Project status reports are prepared to keep stakeholders and sponsors informed about the progress. The plan is updated on the regular intervals based on real-time progress being made in the project. Lastly, in the closure, all the deliverables finalized are released to customer, resources are released and make sure all payments are received. Project team gathers the learning from the project and share with the team. Let's visualize the activities and resource allocation by phase. We need to quantify the activities to be performed in the project and quantify the number of resources required. If we plot them together in a graph, you will observe the activities performed during the execution phase are maximum and initiation and closure phases have minimum number of activities. Same applies to the number of resources also. You need more number of resources in execution phase as compared to the other phases. For resource allocation, in initiation, project manager and few important stakeholders are involved. In planning, project manager onboards subject matter experts, vendors, suppliers, leadership team, etc. In execution phase, the team size is increased. In the start of the execution, specialized resources are hired for the project to build various building blocks, and later, as the work gets completed, the resources are released. In the end, the closure phase is carried out by few members along with the project manager. So folks, this was about the phases of the project. This kind of project planning is called as waterfall model, where the activities are taken one after the another one to reach the desired outcome. Now, let's see how do budget fits corresponding to these phases. Now, it's time to estimate the budget for each phase and plan the budget expenditure for each phase. The number of activities are gradually increasing from initiation to execution, and lastly, few activities are left to be done in the closure phase. Let's apply the similar concept here. In relation with the number of activities performed in each phase, the budget required in initiation phase will be less and increase gradually till the end of the execution phase. And again, budget is needed for the closure. The incremental utilization of budget is plotted in the graph, and this called as S-curve because it is shaped in a form of S letter. In the given example here, the total budget is $50,000. Let's see how $50,000 is distributed. The budget assigned to each phase is corresponding to the work performed in that phase. The budget required for initiation is $5,000, and for planning it's $10,000. That make total consumption till the end of the planning as $15,000. The execution phase requires $30,000. That makes total consumption till the end of the execution as $45,000. And lastly, $5,000 needed to close the project. That makes the complete cost as $50,000 distributed across the phases. Having phases also measures how much budget is really required for each phase and creates a kind of a soft boundary within the project phases, so that unnecessary cost expenditure is controlled and a dedicated amount is spent in each phase. This is how the projects broken down into phases helps us to maintain right balance of work and budget needed for project activities. Now, what if in case we are short of money? Here comes the real challenge. The first step for project manager will be to try to still make it happen in the given amount by figuring out different options and alternatives such as optimizing the schedule, revalidating the scope, reducing the resource cost by outsourcing, or reduce material cost by negotiating with the vendor. After looking at all options, in case it is still not possible to complete the project within budget, then we either reduce the scope or request will be made to sponsor to fund project with more money so that it can be completed. The project sponsor is the one who is investing in the project. We also call them as investors. Project sponsor owns the full power to put the project on hold if it is not executing as per the plan and budget estimated for it. For our story, it is Mr. Smith, who is the sponsor of the project led by John. Now, it's time for some action item. To create a budget plan, make sure the schedule is prepared as part of the episode number 7. Make sure activities are divided into phases. Estimate the budget for each phase and plot the S-curve for the budget consumption. Finally, share with the team for the feedback. So, this was all about budget planning. You really need to come up with data points to plot the budget and form the S-curve for your project. I understand this can be slightly heavy when you do it for the first time, but more and more practice will only make it easy for you. With this episode, it completes the project parameters planning. For the scope, we build the WBS. For the time, we build the Gantt chart. And for the budget, we plotted the S-curve. Now, next step is to onboard the team and get started with the project. In the next episode, we will talk more about communications planning. Till then, stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next one. This content is also available on other social media platforms. Links are given in the description. I wish we stay connected. Thank you all. That's all for this episode. Have a great day. Bye bye.